Hi, Coach Kyle Harris from the Bob Harris Baseball School in Green Springs, Ohio. Today I want to talk to you about one of our most favorite tools that we use with our students from ages 8 or 9 all the way up to our collegiate athletes, and if we had pro athletes here, we would use them as well. We use these for boys and girls, and it's none other than the amazing J Band from Jaeger Sports. Now, if you're not following Alan Jaeger at Jaeger Sports on Twitter, and I don't know his other social media, but you need to do that. You need to check out his website, check out all of his content. It's phenomenal. He works with some of the greats in the industry as far as players and other coaches and trainers go. So you need to make sure you're following Jaeger, Alan Jaeger at Jaeger Sports. Pick up his books, check out his year-round throwing manual. His work in the field of long toss is out of this world. And while you're there, just go ahead and pick up some J Bands because you need them. They're great for your shoulder health. I don't care if you're an overhead athlete or not. You need to have a pair of J Bands. I have my non-baseball playing clients using these as well, just to maintain shoulder health. They're great for improving shoulder health, rehabbing, preventing shoulder injuries, and strengthening the shoulder for the overhead thrower. So if you're a softball player or you're a baseball player ages 9 to probably 14 or 15, pick up a pair of the youth size. And if you're 15 or older and you're a baseball player, pick up the adult version, which is what we have. Now, there's a lot of different resources you can find online from YouTube or websites that show you how to use the J Bands. There's J Band exercises that you can find right on Alan Jaeger's website. I implore you to go look those up. But today we're going to start a little bit of a series about how we use the J Bands that aren't just for shoulder health. So how we use them and how versatile they are in our training. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you have some place to clip the J Band. You can do it anywhere you want, onto a chain link fence. If you have a little bit of a pole, you can wrap it around and then clip it to itself. So we've done that before, where you just wrap it around that pole and then you just clip both cords right to this little clip here. What we've done is we've just drilled and screwed in some circle clamps here, and we can just clip right onto. So we're going to clip right onto that depending on our height. And what we're going to do today is talk about rotation and a rotational exercise and an anti-rotational exercise that we use with all of our athletes. In baseball, everything we do is based around rotation. Rotation of some point of the body. We need to make sure that we have a strong core. So our torso is strong. We have good endurance, we have good mobility and good stability through that torso and control. So what we're going to do is the torso rotation, the resistance band torso rotation with the Jaeger band. So we're not going to use the Velcro for this exercise here. We're just going to stick our hand right through the loop. We're going to grab it with both arms. We step away. We try to get that band so it's coming basically perpendicular to our body, so it bisects our body if I let it. And we're just going to turn away, keeping everything nice and tight, and we're going to fight that resistance on the way back. So I'm rotating left to right, keeping my core tight, using both arms, keeping them straight. We don't want to get sloppy with this in here. This is all about rotation. So really use that core, fight it on the way back. The great thing about resistance bands, especially J Bands, is that the longer we stretch it, the greater resistance we get. So we can progress this exercise simply by moving farther away from where we have it anchored. Now, if I need to progress it even more, I can double my resistance by using both resistance bands on the J Bands, and I can do the same thing. I rotate, fight it on the way back. Rotate, fight it on the way back. Now, what I like to do is have them take 2 to 3 seconds on the rotation out, 2 to 3 seconds on the rotation back. As we get better, we can do that more explosively. So they can rotate fast, and then I try to make them go 3-4 seconds on the way back to fight that anti-rotation. Which brings me to the next exercise I want to show you, the Paloff press, which is an excellent anti-rotational exercise. And basically what we're going to do is get in the same position. We're going to rotate into that position where we would have stopped and come back no farther. We're going to stop right there in the middle line of the body, and all we're going to do is press straight up, just like that. This is not a rotating exercise. It's fighting rotation, helping to protect the spine, helping to prevent injuries. So we're going to push out and then bring it back in. We don't want to do this exercise fast. This is all about stability, balance, developing core strength to resist movement, rotating backwards. So we're going to push out and back in. And again, the farther I move away from where I'm anchored, the greater the resistance, the more difficult it's going to be. And then if I want to double that resistance, I simply grab both handles on the J bands and then I push out. Now, we want to make sure we do both sides equally. In fact, I usually recommend to my athletes, if you are a righty throw and a righty hit, you're rotating in the same direction at all times. You may want to throw in a couple extra sets for the other side. So if I'm going to rotate this way as I throw and rotate this way as I hit, I may want to do a couple extra sets of rotational exercises going the opposite way just to even some things out. All right, so I'm going to recommend that when we're programming these, start off 2-3 times a week, probably 2 sets of 8 to 12 reps, and then work your way up to 3, 4, 5 sets of 8 to 20 reps, 2, 3, 4 days a week. Keep that up. You can throw it right into your J band routine if you're doing that. It's very important not only to keep that shoulder healthy, but we got to keep the torso healthy and the rotating muscles healthy. So do some rotation, do some anti-rotation exercises. Use those J bands. If you don't have any J bands, make sure you buy some. I'm Kyle Harris. You can follow me at Hossjob on Twitter. You can follow the baseball school at Bob Harris Baseball 1. That's Bob Harris Baseball with 1 L and then the number 1 afterwards. And we hope to see you guys. Thanks.